1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello everyone, my name is Mudit Pandey. I am the co-founder of My Admission Card and the president of VIU Foundation. So today we have a special guest in here, Mr. Craig Brown, Director Office of Future Student at Vancouver Island University, Canada in British Columbia. Welcome, Craig. How are you today?
Great. Thank you for having us today.
So
I appreciate
how are you
your
finding
time.
it in India?
I'm having a good time. This is my second day in India. It's about my fourth or fifth time in India,
Okay.
but I haven't been here for about 10 years.
Okay.
So things have changed quite a bit since I was last here.
So which all cities have you covered? Like which all cities have you seen?
On this trip, it's just going to be Delhi for the most part. We're going to visit some colleagues in Chandigarh tomorrow.
Okay.
But in the past, I've been able to travel around different parts of the country, but there's still a lot I'd like to see.
So Craig, just to brief you before starting,
Mm-hmm.
the motive of this podcast or the show is to brief students about the Vancouver Island University. So most of my questions will be around Vancouver Island University.
Excellent.
But before we move forward, there is an important question which is coming in most of the parents' mind. Like, how do you see the landscape changing of the Canadian education industry with the new leadership coming in?
Sure. That's a great question. I've been in the higher education industry for about 25 years now, so I've seen a lot of changes, but probably none more than what we've seen in the last year. It's been a difficult year for a number of reasons. It's been hard coming out of COVID and seeing students make some choices and returning back to post-secondary. But we're optimistic with the new leadership coming into Canada. It's been announced recently that our new Prime Minister should be announcing an election coming up very soon. So by next spring, we'll have a new leadership, new Prime Minister, and hopefully at that point, some improved relations with India in terms of how many students we get and how we interact with our colleagues in India.
Okay. So do you see as a positive for students? Will there be some opening for better student visa success rate or something?
Overall, I think the changes, though difficult, are aimed solely at making things better for the student, at improving the transparency and the safety and the programs for our international students, including Indian students. We want to make sure our students are aware of the schools that they're studying at. We want to make sure that they know exactly what they're getting into and that they get the value for what they're paying for, because we know they're paying a lot for their university experience.
So great, thanks for the information. We'll move forward now. So I would like to ask a bit about Vancouver as a place first.
Sure.
What is the advantages of studying in Vancouver?
Yeah.
What is the advantages of studying in Canada basically? So we'll start with basics and then we'll ask about the university.
Sure. Well, studying in Canada has a number of benefits for it. We're blessed to have a fantastic public education system.
That's true.
So we have a number of universities that are of a high quality. So students can be confident when they come to Canada that they know that the university they're going to if it's a public university, is a good one. Any program, any university you study at in Canada, at a public institution, is going to be of good value.
Okay.
Studying in Canada allows students to pay reasonable, though they're in a higher international cost. I think they're fair cost for what the students are getting, because they're public universities. They're going to have excellent student services. They're going to have residence options, and they're going to be living in safe and clean cities, which is really important, I know, for a lot of our parents. In terms of looking beyond where our location is, so we're located on Vancouver Island. So Vancouver Island is a large island on the west coast of Canada. We are located about 2 hours by ferry from the city of Vancouver. And we're located in a city called Nanaimo. And Nanaimo is one of the fastest growing cities in Canada. And what I think one of the appeals for us is that a student who comes to study in Vancouver Island University gets to be part of that growth and gets to really contribute to that community, grow with the community, and give back to that community.
So how safe is the place that you're talking about, Vancouver Island University? How safe is it for the students? So there are three questions from us.
Of course,
before
yes.
we go ahead.
Yeah.
How safe is the Vancouver Island University surrounding? Number 2, do you have on-campus accommodation or off-campus? If off-campus, do the university help in it?
Yep.
And number 3 is, what about the nightlife? Because a lot of students going from India, they
Of
do
course,
want some fun.
yeah. Okay, well, look, I'll start to that first one. Safety is paramount for us, and safety of our students is paramount. I think it's different in different parts of Canada. We're a quiet island.
Okay.
Vancouver Island is known for its outdoor recreation. It's hiking, it's skiing, it's swimming. We have oceans and
It's
lakes.
full of fun.
Everything that students might want to do to get outdoors. We're blessed with some of the most mild climate in Canada. So while other parts in Canada might be minus 40 and snowing, maybe it's about minus 10 or above zero and some rain, which is still cold compared to Delhi. I recognize that. I'm always very hot when I'm traveling through India, but it's a lot more comfortable than many parts of the country.
Yeah, that's true.
So safety is important, and Nanaimo and VIU in particular are incredibly safe destinations for students to come to.
So accommodation, like
and accommodations. Happy to talk about that. So for the size of our university, we're considered a small to medium-sized university, and we are lucky to have residences available to our students right on campus. And not only do we have a number of residences right now, we're building a brand new residence tower.
Okay.
So students who are watching this today, who are thinking of studying in Canada in 1 or 2 years, will be able to access this brand new residence located on our campus. And for off-campus, off-campus living has been an issue for all across Canada. I don't know what it's like in India these days, but in a lot of countries are having issues with finding off-campus residence, and rent is increasing. To help alleviate that and to help with that, we've created a position at VIU called an off-campus residence assistant. So they are there to provide guidance to students about how they should be treated by a landlord, what their rights are, what kind of protections they should have, and maybe give them some recommendations of good off-campus accommodation.
That's great. That's great. So coming back to the nightlife.
The nightlife, right? Yeah, you meant so.
It's important for all.
I will preface it by I'm an older father now, so I'm maybe not the best to speak about nightlife, but I do talk to our students a lot. And while, as I said before, VIU has a number of opportunities in terms of bars and music venues and places students can go. It's not going to be the downtown nightlife of a Toronto, but I think that's the appeal of it, is that you can go in and go to see your friends, visit musical venues, go to restaurants, go to pubs, but it's not that far away from and you're not going to be dealing with hundreds of people getting in line to these venues.
Is the Indian food available?
There's definitely Indian food available. And it's more than just butter chicken. I know that in Canada, everyone thinks that everybody just wants to have butter chicken. There's some really great Indian restaurants. And just off campus, there's other types of restaurants. We have 2 Mexican restaurants close by. We have hamburgers, we have pizza, we have Italian restaurants. So any student coming to VIU will be able to enjoy their favorite Indian meal as well as different other foods that they enjoy.
So before we move forward asking about the university, one more question just. What is the average cost of living in your place? Yeah,
so average cost of living, again, it depends on the quality of the life that the student is going to go for. So outside of tuition, we would probably recommend students budget about $15,000 to $20,000 Canadian a year for rent.
Which is fine.
Yeah, for rent, for living, eating most of your meals at home. Things like that, for transportation around the area. Yeah, that's not having a car, it's using our transportation
Basically a student life.
A student life, exactly. Yeah,
Having
exactly.
a car or something is luxury. That's not a
For
student
sure,
life.
no, it's not a student life. And we, right on our campus, we have a bus route that can take students all over the city.
Just to move forward, can you just brief us a bit about the university?
Sure. So we are, like I said before, a small to medium-sized university located in Nanaimo. It originally began as called Malaspina College, as a more of a trades program. But since then, to respond to the growth of the area and the growth in British Columbia, I'd say about 12, 15 years ago, we became Vancouver Island University. And what we are is an applied university. So that's a little bit different in BC than you'll see larger research institutions. Our focus is on having small classes and on preparing students for careers after they graduate. And what that allows us to do is we have programs everywhere from trades to diplomas to bachelor's degrees to master's degrees and everything in between. Size-wise, we're about just over 15,000 students.
It's a good number.
It's a good number, yeah. It's good enough that it has all the trappings of a larger university. We have a good fitness program. We have a lot of an on-campus pub, a very active student union. But we also really are proud of the small classes and the ability for our students to really get to know their professors and get to know the teachers that they work with and their classmates.
So any idea about the diversity in the university?
Yeah, we are an incredibly I should say that Nanaimo, Canada in general, as you know, is a very diverse country with people coming, people from all over the world who have made their home now in Canada. BC is no different. And Nanaimo is a small microcosm of that. It is becoming more diversified every year. On campus, our largest international student population are still students from India, but those students will enjoy taking classes with students from across the world, from a number of different countries, including China, Southeast Asia, and a number of different countries out of Africa as well.
So what are the popular courses that you offer after high school? We'll start with high school. You
Sure.
can tell me always about the master's program, but the interest is more on
High school. Yeah,
What
on high
after
school, for sure. That's our largest proportion of students are coming in for our bachelor's degrees or our diplomas. And the really popular programs, I would say these days, are bachelors of computer science, still has a very high enrollment rate, a bachelor of kinesiology, or human kinetics, as some places will refer to it. And we still have a full offer of bachelors of arts in criminology, a bachelor's of science, and a bachelor's of business administration.
So is there minimum eligibility criteria for this? Like if just say I'm a student from science background, but I want to do this bachelor's of criminology, can I go for it?
So for access to most of our programs, we accept all bands, and all board exams. So we are an open university in terms of where we don't require a fixed percentage of average.
Okay.
We want to make sure that the student has the math, or if it's a math intensive course, or they have the appropriate level of English so they can be successful in the class.
Okay. And what are the set of documents do you require? The same, the high school certificate?
Exactly. High school certificates, demonstration of English, those are the basic requirements. When you get to graduate levels or the master's, there's some other documents that we require, sometimes work experience or other additional forms like that.
Okay. So what are the English language tests that you accept? Do you accept IELTS, PT?
We accept PT, we accept IELTS, we accept Duolingo, and we have a fixed score for all programs. So anything from a diploma to a master's, we have a fixed IELTS band, and that's 6.5 with no band below 6.
So this is for diploma also? And
Diplomas, bachelor's degrees, and master's degrees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the same 6.5?
It's the same, same 6.5. And that would apply to all any program where it's an academic English is required.
Okay. So is there any interview also?
There's no interview, no.
So interview is not a part of the process?
That's right, yeah.
Any application fees?
Definitely application fees. Our application fees are quite balanced. They're $150 for international students.
Okay. Yeah. And what about the master's program? Which is the popular master's program that the VIU do?
For sure. So we don't have a lot of master's programs. We only have 4.
Okay.
And those our most popular master's programs are our Master's of Business Administration.
Most popular.
By quite a significant margin, as you can imagine.
70% of the Indian market goes for that.
Yes, it's definitely a very popular program out of India. But we're starting to see a lot more interest in our other master's programs. Masters of Educational Leadership, Masters of Community Planning, and a Masters of Sustainable Resource Management.
Okay, what is this Masters of Sustainable Resource Management? What is it like? For whom?
So this would be for a student who wants to take what they've learned and apply it into working for different organizations or companies to demonstrate how their company can be more sustainable, how their company can respond to new changes and regulations and government policies, and apply those skills to a number of different programs.
Okay. So what is the duration of the bachelor's program and then master's program?
Yeah, bachelor's programs, like all our bachelor programs in Canada, are 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. So one benefit of a school like ours is that students can, you can transfer in with a diploma from elsewhere and finish your final 2 years with us. Okay. But the majority of our students are coming for the entirety of the 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the duration of diploma?
It is at 2 years. Our diplomas and associate degrees are 2 years.
Okay. Yeah. So masters is again 2 years.
Most of them are just under 2 years.
Just under 2 years.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then now coming to the most important question for any parent, because in India, it's become a habit to see it as an investment when they send a student abroad. So what is the tuition fee range?
Yeah, so the tuition fee ranges from approximately $25,000 for, and this is a broad spectrum, for our bachelor's degree programs, up to our MBA program, which is closer to 50,000 Canadian.
Yeah, that's still good. Is there any scholarship?
We have a few smaller scholarships for our bachelor's degree programs. We don't have any for our graduate programs at this point, but we definitely have a few for our undergraduate programs.
Okay. So again, a very important question. If I'm a parent, I'm sending my student to Canada. what are job opportunities?
Sure.
Are there any co-ops available?
Yeah, so at VIU, as I said before, we're a career-focused institution. So some of our programs do have a co-op component, but we don't have it in every program. What we do, though, is we have a great program called WIL, or Work Integrated Learning.
Okay.
And so not unlike a few other schools that have that. But what we try to do with that program is introduce our students to different labor market trends. We try to connect them with companies that are hiring, job fairs, develop their resume, develop their how good to be at an interview, so they can be successful when they graduate.
Okay.
Vancouver Island is, as I said before, an island, and so while it's a very large island, a lot of our students have the ability, because of Vancouver Island University is known, across Canada. Some of our students will stay on the island and, like I said, become part of that community and find jobs in that community. Some of them will look to the city of Vancouver, which is only 2 hours away, but also obviously a larger city with other options to it as well.
Okay, so like a lot of other universities also talk about the percentage of student getting placed in the first 90 days.
Yeah.
So do we have some data?
I don't have that
about it?
statistic, unfortunately, for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So just moving forward, can you just let us know a bit more about part-time job opportunities in Vancouver Island University? Because a lot of students who goes from India, they look forward to part-time job
For sure.
to get some money.
Yeah, that's really important. And most of our students, international or domestic, find part-time jobs around the Nanaimo community.
Okay. So how many hours are they allowed?
So they're right now it's 24 hours a week. Is that the students are maximum amount of work they can work outside of classes. While they're maintaining a full-time program of study, they can work 24 hours a week for a different company.
So this is for both undergrad and postgrad students?
That's correct, yeah. There's no variation. It's any international student has the same limitation on the amount of work hours they can do.
So do they need any separate permission for this? Or
No, it's part of their study permit.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
And again, very important for every parent, what are the stay back options? When they complete their degree, what
Sure.
are the options to stay back and work in Canada?
Great question, and certainly things like that have changed in the last year or so. But what I can assure parents is that there's a lot of options for students when they graduate with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. Any student with a bachelor's or a master's can apply for what's called a postgraduate work permit. So we definitely recommend working with an immigration advisor when they're doing that, but they have the capacity to apply for a postgraduate work permit, and that allows them to work for 3 years in Canada in their field of study.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, what I would recommend students to do is that not all programs in Canada are eligible for the postgraduate work permit as they used to be.
Okay.
So it's up to the student and the parents to do research and make sure that the program that they're applying to is eligible for the postgraduate work permit. So for a public university like us, that's all of our bachelor's degrees, all of our masters, and a number of our diplomas, but not all of them.
Okay. So do VIU also help in placement of a student? Do you have a placement cell or something to help them to
For
apply?
careers?
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, we have the WILS program. So we have a support on campus to help them with their applications, but we also have immigration advisors.
Okay.
And so we do have full-time immigration advisors who are there to provide advice to students about renewing their study permit, applying for a postgraduate work permit, maybe bringing their spouse over, other things that can help them out. So we have services to help them in that capacity.
Thanks a lot, Craig. Thanks for the information. It's great to have you here. So it's a much needed information that you provided to our audience today. So just before you go, I want you to give a message to our students who are looking forward to apply in Canada.
Sure. All I can say is that Vancouver Island University is a great option for anyone considering applying to Canada. You get to be in a safe, small, supportive community with a wide range of programs, everything from trades programs right through to master's programs that gives you opportunities to take the skills you've learned and return back home, or maybe possibly to remain in Canada and apply for a postgraduate work permit, all within a safe, supportive environment of Vancouver Island University.
Thanks a lot for your message, Craig. Thanks a lot for coming.
And thank you for your time.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you.